Daily Bible reading, Matthew chapter 21, verse 33 through chapter 22, verse 14. Now listen to another parable. There was a farmer who planted a vineyard. He put a wall around it, dug a pit for the winepress, and built a tower. Then he rented it to tenants and left. When harvest time came, he sent his servants to the tenants to collect his share of the crop. But the tenants seized his servants. This one they beat up, that one they killed, another they stoned. So he sent some other servants, more than the first group, and they did the same to them. Finally, he sent them his son, saying, "My son they will respect." But when the tenants saw the son, they said to each other, "This is the heir. Come, let's kill him and take his inheritance." So they grabbed him, threw him out of the vineyard, and killed him. Now when the owner of the vineyard comes, what will he do to those tenants? They answered him, "He will viciously destroy those vicious men and rent out the vineyard to other tenants who will give him his share of the crop when it's due." Yeshua said to them, "Haven't you ever read in the Tanakh, 'The very rock which the builders rejected has become the cornerstone'? This has come from Adonai, and in our eyes it is amazing. Therefore I tell you that the kingdom of God will be taken away from you and given to the kind of people that will produce its fruit." As the head Kohanim and the Perushim listened to his stories, they saw that he was speaking about them. But when they set about to arrest him, they were afraid of the crowds, because the crowds considered him a prophet. Yeshua again used parables in speaking to them. "The kingdom of heaven is like a king who prepared a wedding feast for his son. But when he sent his slaves to summon the invited guests to the wedding, they refused to come. So he sent some more slaves, instructing them to tell the guests, 'Look, I've prepared my banquet. I've slaughtered my bulls and my fattened cattle, and everything is ready. Come to the wedding.' But they weren't interested and went off, one to his farm, another to his business, and the rest grabbed his slaves, mistreated them, and killed them. The king was furious and sent his soldiers, who killed those murderers and burned down their city. Then he said to his slaves, 'Well, the wedding feast is ready, but the ones who were invited didn't deserve it. So go out to the street corners and invite to the banquet as many as you find.' The slaves went out into the streets, gathered all the people they could find, the bad along with the good, and the wedding hall was filled with guests. Now when the king came in to look at the guests, he saw there a man who wasn't dressed for a wedding. So he asked him, 'Friend, how did you get in here without wedding clothes?' The man was speechless. Then the king said to his servants, 'Bind him hand and foot and throw him outside in the dark. In that place people will wail and grind their teeth, for many are invited, but few are chosen.'"